Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Michael and we're going to be getting right back into some more Reddit stories. If you enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Now, without further ado, let's begin. This story was created in the Pro Revenge subreddit by a user named Crazy Mastiff. The post is titled TIFU by being an AH on the internet and causing a stranger to get divorced. I'm cross-posting this from TIFU. I'm really not a mean person, and I genuinely felt terrible for destroying a marriage. However, the lovely users thought I should post here even though I didn't mean for the revenge to escalate to this level by any means. I don't even know if I meant for revenge at all, but here we are. I, 42, FTIFU big time. 2 weeks ago, on a random Thursday morning at around 1 a.m., someone started shooting off fireworks in my neighborhood. I've been having bouts of insomnia and had finally managed to get to sleep, only to wake up at 4 a.m. for a meeting 2 hours away that I needed to be at by 8 a.m. I was furious and so were my dogs. I love fireworks, but I believe there's a time and a place for them. Thursday morning at 1 a.m. is not it. I posted to the neighborhood Facebook group a few hours later during a coffee break about the people who set off fireworks at 1 a.m. in the middle of the week. After I made the long drive home, I checked my Facebook. Some guy commented that I can't sleep because I'm a fat pig. Now I'm chubby but not sloppy fat. Plus, I just lost the equivalent of a fully grown male wombat or 54 North American gray squirrels. So I feel fantastic about myself. This is where I may have really messed up. I responded to the guy who was maybe 30 or 40 something, about the same age group as me. I wrote in a comment beneath his, "Listen, I'm sorry I had to end things, but I just didn't have the same feelings. What you're saying now is just hurtful and mean. Please stop sending me messages and commenting on my Facebook posts. It's just a pathetic way to contact me. I've told you a dozen times already, we are done. It's over." The following day, I had to get to the airport for an out-of-country vacation that required me to wake up early and leave at the crack of dawn. So I didn't check my Facebook during all the craziness, also because I'm only on it sparingly. I don't live on my phone, and when I'm on it, I'm usually on Reddit or TikTok rather than Facebook. I couldn't check my Facebook even if I wanted to. I was on a cruise, not paying $25 a day for internet, and the country we visited didn't really have the greatest internet. Besides, I was having a blast leaving the chaos of the world behind. I signed on Monday night, and wow, apparently people took this seriously and told his wife. She was freaking out, pleading for information and sending me messages. Her friends and his friends were messaging me, he was messaging me. It was bad. The last message was from the guy calling me a total cunt because I refused to tell the truth and had just destroyed his life. I immediately messaged both him and his wife explaining what happened. I even sent pictures of me on vacation, time-stamped. Apparently, he is a serial cheater, and when I exposed our affair, another woman exposed her affair with the husband to the wife because the affair partner was jealous that he had yet another side chick. This was the straw that broke the camel's back, not only because of the multiple affairs, but also because he humiliated her with how public it was, especially since it was in a neighborhood group. So there's my accidental pro-revenge. TLDR, someone tried to hurt my feelings after I posted about fireworks being set off early in the morning and I pretended to publicly address our breakup. His wife and affair partner were not pleased. User, she who loves to draw, said, "If he was a serial cheater, then you did nothing wrong. It wasn't your intention to out him as a cheater by accidentally exposing him with your attempts to just annoy him. But in the end, his wife will be better off with knowing that he was in fact having an affair on the side with another woman. Don't beat yourself up over this. He's the cheater and clearly an asshole if he thinks it's perfectly acceptable to set off fireworks at 1 a.m. and then respond to you with nasty insults." User Cockamamie Amy said, "Honestly, at best, you caused the truth to come to light, and no matter who that sucks for, it was the right thing and should have come out way sooner. Don't look at it as destroying a marriage, look at it as exposing a toxic man to his spouse, who deserves to know who she's married to. He wasn't honest and his shit caught up with him. You were just the catalyst. I'm sure you probably feel guilty over this, but you shouldn't. Unless you did have an affair with him, you've got things to feel bad about. Don't take responsibility for his actions. And if the wife is mad at you, it's likely displaced anger and she will eventually be thankful this happened. As for him, he's got no accountability, so who cares if he's pissed? He should be pissed just at himself." User Universal Love 369 said, "This went differently than expected. If he had been innocent, you would have been the AH. However, this guy was actually guilty of the offense and deserves every ounce of hate he got. Being ugly on the internet unprovoked was his last mistake. He is the AH user Mob Meal, said, you did not cause their divorce. His cheating ass did. You may have been the catalyst that set things into motion, but that was gonna happen anyway. You actually probably did the woman a favor by not letting her get strung along for a longer period of time." User MelonLord13 said, "Going to go against the grain from the other commenters and say, yeah, I think you messed up just a bit by doing that. Mainly because we've seen the absolute damage one rumor can do to an otherwise stable and normal marriage or career. I think it's absolutely hilarious that it ended up this way, and hope that piece of trash lies awake at night wondering how the hell you knew." So yeah, you got lucky it blew up in his face, and hopefully the ex can move on and any kids can too. No hard feelings from me, and I hope you don't beat yourself up over it either. Take it as both a learning moment and definitely a win. This next story was made in the True Off My Chest subreddit by a user named Temp Throwaway 6 months ago. The post is titled, "I broke my wife and I don't think it's fixable. This happened 6 months ago, and I only chose to talk about it now because I don't see any improvement in sight, and I feel hopeless. We were at a party, my friend is single, and we started talking about love and relationships. My wife and I have been happily married for 7 years, and we have 3 beautiful children. She is the love of my life. When I was talking to my friend, I felt like we were on different levels of thinking. His complaints were mostly superficial, focused on how the people he dated looked. I was a bit drunk at that point and said something like, you don't fall in love with looks. Look at me and my wife. I love her more than anything compared to my ex, who was just looks. Everyone went silent and my damage control was worse, so I ended up shutting the hell up. I couldn't get my point across, but even I thought that maybe these thoughts had been in my head and only came out when I was drunk. My wife was shocked. For the first week, she was so angry and wanted to understand what I meant, but nothing I said was good enough. I was drunk. I love her. I think she's the most beautiful woman. She thought being drunk made me reveal my true feelings. Then one morning, she just said, you know, I have never felt as ugly as I have felt this past week. I have always thought I was beautiful. She didn't cry this time, but she hasn't been happy since. I started crying and apologizing, but she was emotionless. It was the last time she looked at me too. She has become taciturn and distant, but only with me. She has lost 20 pounds and works out 6 to 7 days a week. She never has free time with me. If she's not with the children or her family and friends, she's immersed in some book or has her headphones on. She's always fully clothed now, even in bed. She locks the bathroom door when she takes a shower. She is more active on social media too. She shares many pictures of herself and thanks everyone who gives her a compliment. Before it was just pictures with our children and pets, but now it's all about her, working out in sports bras and tights. I broke her and I don't know how to fix it. User Serendipity Lurking said, what you said was your ex is hotter and your wife has personality. Since you are not saying what your damage control was, it must have been awful if you're not even willing to share it under the anonymity of Reddit. Subconsciously or not, you had the thought of my ex was hotter and that can break a person. I don't think you can fix it because I am assuming that is what you actually think. No one is saying you don't love your wife, but physical attraction is important in a partnership, and you basically said that physically you are more attracted to your ex. How you say things, when you say things, who you say them to, it's all important. Edit. Saying that your buddy should get a 6 like you and be happy is not damage control. User Icy Organization 338 said, you don't ruin a marriage with one sentence. This is straw that broke the camel's back stuff. Yes, this would have been incredibly hurtful and embarrassing for her, but in a happy and healthy relationship, you would have been able to apologize, grovel, explain yourself better, and fix it. It was bad, and this was her final straw. That's why you broke her. User NJ Bell 1029 said, unfortunately for you, you might think this is a one-statement mistake, but chances are your actions as a husband to her leading up to this public humiliation was pushing her in this direction first. What kind of husband have you been before this? Did you prioritize your marriage separate from the parental side? Have you been a 50-50 partner? Did you grow complacent as a lover in romance, desire, and intimacy? This switch she has turned is serious, and not allowing you to properly apologize for it means she's likely been down the dead ends before. Self-evaluate not just this moment, but all the moments. 6 months is a long time it takes to get your life in the place you want it to be before pulling the plug for something new. User Substantial Youth 9106 said, OP, it's been 6 months since the incident, and it's not too late to fix things. However, having a negative mindset won't help you. You haven't mentioned any proactive ways you've made your wife feel loved, appreciated, and valued since the situation. Instead, you've only mentioned her negative, in your eyes, behaviors such as not looking at you, sleeping fully clothed, working out, and using social media on her own terms. It's absurd that you haven't suggested marriage counseling yet, especially because you shattered your wife's confidence. You aren't taking any accountability for your actions, nor putting in the work needed to make things better. Where is the fight in you and the light at the end of the tunnel mindset? You can't be upset at the outcome when your wife makes her final decision and if you don't try your hardest. This next post was also made in the True Off My Chest subreddit. It was created just 5 days ago by a user named BurnerTR004. The post is titled, My Best Friend Told Me What He Does to My Pictures. I don't even know what to say about this, but I'm 19F and my best friend, 19M, told me that sometimes when we FaceTime, he takes FaceTime pictures of me when I'm not looking. I said, gross, I hate that. I wish that was all, but he made it worse. He then said that sometimes he uses those pictures to pleasure himself. And then he showed me the pictures he took secretly, the ones he looks at when he touches himself. There was a picture of me doing my makeup and wearing a sports bra, and it was cold, so my nipples were hard, as happens to humans. Then there was a picture of me sleeping. Like, what the hell? And then another picture of me in a sports bra and some shorts, which was weird because I wear that every time I'm home, every time we FaceTime. I told him that was gross and he needed to stop. After I was kind of off for a few days, he said it was just a joke, but he literally showed me the pictures. I don't know if I believe he was joking. Why would you even joke about that? It just made me feel so weird, and I don't know what to think about it. I feel icky and gross, and I wish he had never told me because I truly believe ignorance is bliss. Now I feel like I can't show my body or even my face on FaceTime with him anymore because he's going to take a picture and use it to masturbate. Edit. I don't know why so many people saw this, but I'm glad most of you were as disgusted as I am. I am not planning on being friends with this person anymore. I think I may have tried to convince myself he was just overly horny and it wasn't deep, or he was just joking, but no, it was creepy and it's been bothering me for weeks. I can't continue acting like that was okay. I was going to tell his girlfriend, but I found out she has me blocked on Instagram. I am not surprised. I know she didn't like him having a female friend, and I'm sure this is exactly why, but thank you all. Also, to all the people messaging me or commenting saying I should be flattered or turned on or saying my sports bra was the issue, I hope you grow up someday. A user named Vanetis said, it was a poor attempt at flirting and probably testing the waters if you are DTF. Since you reacted negatively, I guess this friendship will not be worth maintaining. User Cryptid Me said, I'd be less worried about not showing face or whatever on FaceTime and instead stop being friends with this person. I mean, there are only 2 reactions to this. Feel flattered or grossed out. Clearly, the second one is how you feel. So choose friends who respect boundaries. User Destructicus Dawn said, this guy isn't your friend. A friend doesn't beat off to pictures they took of you without permission and then show you. He probably thought you'd be flattered or would reciprocate his feelings. That was him shooting his shot. This person is less interested in platonic friendship than you are. User Ellie Star said that people will argue all day about whether men and women can be platonic friends. But it's this kind of constant, ridiculous bullshit that fuels the no they can't side. He is into you. He is pretending to be your friend. Once it is extremely clear that you are not actually into him, he will no longer be your friend. This could take 1 day or 1 century. He was never your friend. User Mipson said, that guy inherits some next level social incompetence. He's into you and communicated that in the worst way possible. I mean, people can get pretty weird in well-established friendships, but that is something different. I still remember when I took a step too far when one time one of my female friends asked what I was doing and I just sent her a picture of the turd I had just unloaded into my toilet. Could have ended the friendship, but that father mucker just sent one back, and from that day on, we somehow kept running a turd pick competition. Conclusion, some people test the waters in very idiotic ways. Take it with humor, slap him in the face, and tell him to quit the bullshit.